The K-Royal Culture Festival, the largest cultural heritage festival in Korea, is held twice a year in spring and autumn at cultural heritage sites in the heart of Seoul, including the city's 5 major royal palaces and Jongmyo Shrine. We recently had our news features reporter cover the event at the site, and today we have invited 2 people who are part of the whole event, as each of them played the role of a Goong-ee Doong-ee, who interact with visitors and guide them through the festival. They are Jessie Lee and Kylie Stetcher. Welcome to the program. Hello, Jessie.
Hi.
And hello, Kylie.
Hello.
Hello. So first and foremost, why don't we start with you, Jessie? Please introduce yourself to our viewers and also tell us a little bit about what Goong-ee Doong-ee is.
야, 안녕하세요. 저는 미국에서 와서 서울에서 대학교를 다니고 있는 이제시라고 합니다. Hi, my name is Jesse. I'm from the United States and I'm currently attending university in Seoul.
Okay, let's move over to Kylie. Now, we just heard how Jessie's Korean is so perfect, so maybe you feel a little bit pressured, but I guess your Korean is just as perfect.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 현재 대학생으로 살고 있는 카일리라고 합니다. Hello, I'm Kylie, and I'm currently living in Seoul as a university student.
Okay, great. Welcome to the program to both of you. And now, again, Jessie, please tell us, what is Goong-ee Doong-ee?
Sure. So 궁이둥이 is a Korean expression that means those intimately connected with the palace. So we're volunteers working at the K-Royal Culture Festival and greeting and interacting with both Korean and foreigner guests who come to the palace to enjoy the festival.
And that is, I guess, why you guys are so fluent in both English and Korean. And now, what you're wearing right now is also the costume that you wear during the festival, I believe. And I have to say, you guys look as if you just popped out of a K-history drama scene. So, Kylie, could you tell us a little bit about that traditional attire?
Yes, so this is originally based on a towaso outfit, the traditional Joseon painters that lived in the palace back in the day. So it has the same vibes, but it's been a little bit adjusted to modern day and modern acting.
I see, and I have to say I really like the colors, and I am actually matching you guys. That was intentional. Now, Kylie, how was the experience as a Goong-ee Doong-ee, and what made you apply for this volunteer program?
Well, first of all, the experience was very fun and very nice. But how I ended up working for it was last year, my friend actually was a Goong-ee Doong-ee, and she had so much fun with it. So I saw that and saw, oh, I should definitely join as well. So I applied this year and was accepted, thankfully.
Nice. So you took part in the spring festival this time, right? Okay, and Jessie, I heard that it's already your second time that you were active as a Goong-ee Doong-ee.
Yeah.
How come?
Right. So I first heard about this last year from actually a friend at university. She let me know about the Goong-ee Doong-ee program, so I applied. I've been interested in like cultural heritage and Korean history for quite a while, so it seemed like a great opportunity to sort of do an activity that's related to that. So that was in the fall. The K-Royal Culture Festival is held twice a year in the spring and the fall. So I did fall, which is held a little bit smaller. The period is a little shorter, and that was really fun, a lot more fun than I expected. And really great experience, so I decided to apply again in the spring when the festival is held for, I think, 10 days, even longer and a larger scale.
So which one did you prefer, the spring or the autumn festival?
Well, it would be hard to pick, but the Goong-ee Doong-ee activity is held at different palaces. So in the fall, it's held at Changgyeong Palace, and in the spring, it's held at Gyeongbokgung Palace and Doksugung Palace. So it was a really different experience because the environment of the palaces themselves is really different, and like the layout and all of that. So it was just both of the experiences were really unique and really valuable memories for me.
So you would recommend to Kylie to also take part in the autumn festival?
Absolutely, yeah.
And Jessie, you just mentioned some of the palaces. So Gyeongbokgung, Changdeokgung, Doksugung, Changgyeonggung, and Gyeonggi-gung are the 5 major palaces here in Korea, in Seoul, that is. So they are the venues for the K-Culture Festival, the K-Royal Culture Festival. So Jessie, what do you think is the charm of these Joseon Dynasty palaces?
Right. Well, I think the really biggest thing is that they're living history. They're a living part of Korea's history that's been around for hundreds of years. And the way that they've been preserved, and not only preserved, but also restored in the case where that was required, means that when you go into really any one of the palaces, you feel in a certain way like a Joseon person, a Joseon a member of the royal court or the king or whatnot, walking those grounds. And the way that they've been preserved and open to the public is it doesn't feel like a huge tourist attraction. It's almost closer to something like a public park or something like that. But they're also really well preserved and really well taken care of, so that it's somewhere in between, like this sort of public space open to everyone and this really sort of really important, really special, like historical place that you can experience. So they're all great, and the environment, as I mentioned before, differs between them. Like in the case of Changdeokgung, it's kind of sort of inside a park, inside a sort of forest, and there's a beautiful garden in the back, the secret garden. So each of the palaces has really their own charm and their own sort of personality, which I really love.
And I guess the atmosphere very differs regarding depending on the season and also whether you are in the midst of the festival or just on a daily basis. So great to hear about the charm from you about the palaces as a Goong-ee Doong-ee, having been there throughout the festival season. And now, talking about the festival season, Kylie, any fun episodes that you experienced and that you want to share with our viewers?
What I really liked personally was at one point during the Goong-ee Doong-ee festival, I actually had some kimbap together with one of my Goong-ee Doong-ee friends under a tree just outside Gyeongbokgung, so that was very nice. I very much enjoyed that.
So kimbap is one of your favorite Korean foods?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, and Jessie, do you have any fun episodes that you remember?
Yeah, I think something that was really, really special and meaningful to me was because we start activities at 10 o'clock in the morning, but this clothing takes a while to wear, like over 30 minutes to get into this. So we actually have to show up to the palace early, and we have to prepare our activities as well. So we tend to have to show up around 9 o'clock, but because we have to get there early, the palace itself opens at 9, but we're able to get in a little early. So before the members of the public have been can get into the palace, so I tended to show up around 8:45 or 8:50 and just spend 10 minutes or 15 minutes really alone in the palace, walking to my activity site. And that's something that's really hard to experience actually, because these palaces are so popular, and there's every time of day, every day of the week, there are lots of people there. So it's really special to be able to spend even a short amount of time in the palace with really nobody around me, just the buildings and the nature and that environment. So that's a really special memory for me.
So once you're in your costume and you're walking around, what do you think of? I can imagine you feel very different.
Well, yeah, it feels like you're working in the palace, because of course we're not just there to sightsee. We're doing an activity. We're there to interact with visitors. But taking on that role, you definitely feel like you're a part of the palace, like part of the machine or something. And that's something that I think would be hard to feel otherwise. But taking part in this festival and taking on this role, this duty of carrying out the festival and interacting with people who are there, I feel like I'm a royal worker in the palace.
A lot of responsibility.
Absolutely.
Now, Jessie, you probably now know all of the venues inside out. So what would be some attractions you would like to recommend to people who haven't been to the festival yet?
Oh yeah, sure. There are a couple. So in the case of Gyeongbokgung, there's a building called Jibokje, which is in the back, the north part of the palace, all the way in the back. And in the royal palaces, most of the buildings are not open to go inside. They're closed. You can just see them from the outside. But in the case of Jibokje, from I think the spring through the fall, it was the royal library, the king's library during the final part of the Joseon dynasty. So constructed or moved from Changdeokgung, I think, by King Gojong. But in the case of Jibokje, it's actually open to the public during that period, so you can go inside and see the inside of that building, and there are even like some books placed there, so you can sort of experience the royal library. So that I really recommend, just going all the way to the back of the palace to check that out. And another place I'd recommend, in the case of Changgyeongbokgung Palace, in I think the would be the northern part of the palace. So north of the buildings, there's like a garden. There's some big ponds and a garden. And in the back of that, there's actually a greenhouse called Taeonsil. It was actually the first Western-style greenhouse constructed in Korea in the first part of the 20th century. But I really love that garden. And actually, in the back near the Taeonsil, there are some cats that live there. I'm a big fan of cats, and it's actually hard to see wildlife inside the palaces. But in the case of Cheonggyeong-gung, near the Taeonsil, there are cats living there, and so I had fun like wearing my clothes last fall, wearing my 궁이둥이 outfit, and taking selfies with the cats in the palace there. And one other place I'd like to recommend. I'm actually a big fan of museums. So in the case of Gyeongbokgung, there are actually several national museums nearby there. So the National Folk Museum of Korea, the National Palace Museum, and also the National Museum of Contemporary Korean History. So those are sort of the most well-known ones. But there's actually another one kind of hiding in plain sight. So right in front of Gyeongbokgung Palace, there's Gwanghwamun Square. And in there, there's the statues of King Sejong and Admiral Lee Sun-shin of the Joseon Dynasty. But actually, right behind the statue of King Sejong, there's an entrance. And if you go in there, there is actually an underground museum called the King Sejong Lee Sun-shin story. So that's actually it's free admission, and it's all about sort of a twin museum. So one part is King Sejong and one part is Lee Sun-shin. But it's all about those really important figures, the king and famous admiral. So about their lives, about in the case of the king, all of his contributions to Korean history and Korean society. So the invention of Hangul, the invention of like various things like rain gauge and astronomical developments. So it's right in front of the palace, and it's really just hidden there in plain sight. I think a lot of people don't know about it, but I'd really recommend checking that out for anyone who comes to check out the Gyeongbokgung Palace.
Wow, so many recommendations. Kylie, would there be anything that you would like to add to Jessie's recommendations? Or maybe some tips or even etiquettes that visitors would have to know about?
Well, in terms of a place that I would like to recommend for people to see, within Gyeongbokgung, there's a place called Gyeongee-do, and I find that place it's right in front of a lake, and sometimes you can go inside of it, but even if you don't, there's this little tiny gate that you can find, and sunset pictures there are like nothing else. I have this one really pretty sunset picture I got when I was at Goong-ee Doong-ee, and you get the palace Kiwa right with the sunset and the lake, and it's super pretty.
Beautiful. And Kylie, what would your day look like as a 궁이 Doong-ee? So earlier Jessie mentioned it starts at around 9 a.m. So how would a typical day look like?
Well, like Jessie said, get there at 9 a.m. and get all dressed up and get all your stuff out to do whatever activities you're doing for the day. Particularly me and Jessie were doing a personality test and a hope making thing. It's like the ID card back in the day for Joseon. So we would get all our stuff out, and then we would help people around the palace and tell them how to get to Gyeongee-do, for example, and how they could do this or that, and we could help them with the different activities. So it was very fun.
Sounds very interesting. Now, finally, Kylie, what would be the requirements to become a 궁이 Doong-ee?
Okay, so currently the requirements for being a 궁이 Doong-ee are being over 18 and being a Korean or foreign citizen living in Korea. But as long as you're just 18 and are living in Korea, you can apply and anyone can get accepted.
Oh, I see. For a moment, I thought you would say under 18.
No.
Over 18. So
over 18, yes.
I could also, apply to become a 궁이 Doong-ee. I'm not sure if I would do such a great job as you guys did, but I'm sure I'm going to check out the festival, which will be again in autumn, right? All right. Thank you very much. That's all the time we have. Thank you very much, Kylie, for being here with us today. And thank you very much, Jessie, also for sharing your story and also for contributing to, making the experience at the festival for visitors an unforgettable one. Thank you.